All right, we're going to talk about choosing the right equipment to introduce leash pressure to the dogs. And we have a couple of choices. Ultimately, the choices boil down to two basic choices in terms of training collars or training equipment. One is a slip collar of some kind or a slip lead, same thing. So a nylon slip collar or a nylon slip lead, like a Mendota type lead, that acts like a choke chain would. The second is a prong collar. And a prong collar, or some people call them a pinch collar, is a tool that we frequently use with less sensitive dogs when we're introducing leash pressure, or introducing the concept of yielding to the leash. We never use flat collars or martingale collars for our leash pressure work for a couple of reasons. One, we always want an active collar, meaning the collar gets tighter, or the discomfort, if you will, intensifies as we pull harder. And with a flat collar, you create stronger opposition, and we have to pull much, much harder on that collar in order to get the dog to move. Same with a martingale. That said, of course, there are some very, very sensitive dogs out there that we could probably teach to move on a flat collar or a martingale collar, but generally speaking, it's not a useful tool for us. So we're looking at slip collars, slip leads, or prong collars. So a slip lead is simply a leash that has an active collar and a leash combined into one. Instead of having to have a separate leash and a slip collar, like a nylon slip collar, we can just use these slip leads. It's important when we put them on that when you put them over the dog's head that you make the active line, the line you're pulling on, go over the top of the back of the dog's neck. So when I put it on, I should pull it like this and it'll tighten, and when I let go, it comes loose. If you put it on upside down like this and the active line is under the dog's neck, when you pull, it has a tendency to stay there. And so when you put these collars on a dog, you would hold it like this, you would slide it over the dog's head, you put it up, and then there's a little leather slide that we can move down so that the leash doesn't slip off the dog's head. Hold on a second there, Pi. So you can see it comes like that, and it keeps the leash from getting looser than that. And so then when I pull this, it tightens, and when I let go, it immediately untightens. The other thing we want with prong collars, again, sometimes when you look at the prong collar, it's designed so the little chain that goes through here is a triangle. And so when I pull on this, it pulls those ends towards each other. And so you want to make sure that you fit it snugly enough so that these two ends, when I pull them, can never touch, because as soon as they come together, it loses the action that it's supposed to have. So the collar should fit snugly. You should clip only this part of it, because if I clip both pieces, it pulls like that instead of pulling in, and you get that triangle effect where it pulls in. And so this makes the collar, when you pull, grab all the way around and then release as soon as you let go. If it's too loose, you get here and it starts concentrating the pull at a point directly opposite, and it's much less effective. So collars need to fit snugly so that the action of the prong collar works appropriately. And it should never be loose enough for these two ends to come touch each other. So relatively snug so they can get pulled towards each other but not touch.